Okay, so there's this super smart doggo named Mr. Peabody who lives in a swanky New York City penthouse with his human son, Sherman. And get this, he's like a time traveling professor who takes Sherman on wild history adventures using his Wayback Machine. Howdy, fellow adventurers and families! Are you ready to join Mr. Peabody and his trusty sidekick Sherman on a time traveling adventure like no other? Get ready to be whisked away through history as we follow Peabody and Sherman's journey to save the universe from collapsing after their cosmic doubles merge, causing historical objects and figures to rain down upon New York City. Join our community by hitting that subscribe button and let's dive into the exciting world of Mr. Peabody and Sherman together. Don't forget to smash that like button and share the excitement with your fellow adventure-loving friends and family. On one of their trips, they end up at the Palace of Versailles, rubbing elbows with Marie Antoinette. But things go haywire when they're almost caught up in the French Revolution. Yikes. Peabody even gets nabbed by some dude named Maximilien Robespierre, who wants to chop off his head with a guillotine. But get this, Peabody outsmarts him by using a freaking cantaloupe. Classic. Anyway, fast forward to when Sherman starts school, and he's trying to be all smart by talking about how the story of George Washington chopping down a cherry tree is bogus. But some girl named Penny Peterson starts beefing with him, calls him a dog, and even puts him in a chokehold. Can you believe it? These kids are savage. So, after Sherman had to bite Penny in self-defense, Peabody gets called to the principal's office. Dun dun dun! And of course, Child Protective Services is there too, with this lady named Miss Grunion, who thinks Peabody might be a bad dad. She even wants to do a home inspection. To make things right before Miss Grunion comes over, Peabody decides to throw a fancy dinner party for Penny and her parents. Classy move, doggo. But of course, things never go as planned. Sherman just can't resist showing off the way back to Penny, and they end up traveling all the way back to ancient Egypt. Talk about a wild trip. But here's the kicker. Penny decides to stay behind and marry King Tut. What? Peabody's gonna be freaking out. But hey, at least she's in good hands, right? Or pause? So, Sherman realizes that he needs Peabody's brainpower to fix the whole Penny King Tut wedding doomsday situation. But Penny's being a bit stubborn, thinking she can change the course of history or something. That is, until Peabody drops the bomb that she's gonna be off too, if she sticks around for that royal shindig. Yikes. So the gang starts hightailing it out of there, trying to get back to the present with the Wayback. But oh snap, it runs out of juice, and they end up crash landing at the crib of the one and only Leonardo da Vinci in Florence. Of course, Penny's got a need for speed and starts egging on Sherman to fly da Vinci's crazy contraption. And you know what? He actually manages to do it. Before they crash, of course. What a ride. So things are getting real when Sherman finds out about Miss Grunion's sneaky plan. Of course, he's not happy and starts arguing with Peabody about it. But the situation goes from bad to worse when they end up getting too close to a black hole. Can't catch a break, can they? Next thing you know, they're smack dab in the middle of the Trojan War. And guess what? Sherman runs away to join the army of King Agamemnon. This kid's got some guts, I'll give him that. But wait, things take a turn when Penny gets stuck in the Trojan horse. Talk about bad luck. It gets even worse when the thing catches on fire and starts rolling towards a cliff. But don't worry, Peabody and Sherman come to the rescue with the rope and grappling hook. Who knew that trick would come in handy in ancient Troy? So, things get pretty intense when the Trojan horse goes off the cliff. But thank goodness Peabody's got some quick thinking skills and tosses Penny and Sherman out with the floorboard. Sadly, it looks like Peabody doesn't make it. Cue the waterworks. But, being the brave time travelers they are, Sherman and Penny head back to the present to try and find Peabody. Despite his warnings not to mess with time, they go back to a few minutes before they left. Classic move, guys. But when they think they've got a handle on the situation, Sherman's past self shows up. Oh boy, things just got a whole lot crazier. Just when they thought things couldn't get any more complicated, Miss Grunion shows up at their doorstep. Peabody tries to play it cool, but with two Shermans running around, it's a tough gig. To make matters worse, the second Peabody shows up alive and well from his time in Troy. It's getting crowded in here. Grunion is not amused and tries to take both Shermans away. But, in a crazy turn of events, the two Peabodys merge together and create a cosmic shockwave. I mean, talk about a reunion. Unfortunately, things take a dark turn when Grunion tries to take Sherman away again. Peabody loses his cool and bites her. Yikes. And to make things worse, she calls the cops. Talk about bad luck. Peabody, Penny, and Sherman are ready to piece out of this crazy situation. But the rip in the space-time continuum is not having it. Instead, a portal opens up over New York City and starts raining down historical stuff like the Great Sphinx and the Titanic. What a time to be alive! As if that's not enough chaos, the Wayback crash lands in Grand Army Plaza. And guess who's waiting for them? That's right, historical figures and the police. Grunion is still hot on their tails, calling in animal control to take Peabody away. But hold up, everyone comes to Peabody's defense, including George Washington, Abe Lincoln, and even Bill Clinton. They pardon him and let him off the hook. Looks like justice has been served, folks. As the rip gets worse, Peabody and Sherman jump in the Wayback and go a few minutes into the future, which works like a charm and fixes everything. The historical dudes are sent back to their own time periods, and Agamemnon takes Grunion with him. Sherman goes back to school, now buds with Penny, and closer to Peabody than ever before. Meanwhile, Agamemnon and Grunion get hitched and mess up history by bringing modern things into their time. The movie wraps up with the guy sweeping the floor behind the Trojan horse and tipping his hat to us. We hope you enjoyed our review and discussion, and that it inspired you to embark on your own time-traveling adventures. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends so they too can discover the thrilling world of Mr. Peabody and Sherman. We'll be back soon with more reviews and discussions on the latest adventure films. Until then, keep exploring new worlds and facing off against danger with your friends and loved ones, just like Peabody and Sherman did. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.